This leader is provided to facilitate adjustment of focus. Please be aware there are spoilers contained in this video presentation.
The suspect's usual, there is crime that must be done. The suspect's usual, everybody's got a gun. And Keyser Söze knows you all want to run. It's not unusual for him to make you die. I want to cry.
Sweet.
I like that one.
This is one where, even though we've got a spoiler warning at the beginning, for realsies, if you have not seen this movie, you need to go stop, drop, and watch the movie. Watch it now. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200.
The preview is what spoiled it for me. I knew exactly how it was going to end.
Okay, so don't watch the trailer. Go watch the movie. The Usual Suspects was released in 1995, directed by Bryan Singer, and it won Best Supporting Actor and Writing.
Best actor for who?
The person who we will not name.
Or the director, we will not name either.
Yeah, it's like everybody got kind of swept up in that. So,
Everybody's terrible.
Yeah.
If you were a Turkish crime lord that didn't want to be known, what's the first thing you go do? You get caught and go right to the police department and then get away again. You'll probably never hear from him again.
I watched a couple videos where they're talking about, is he Keyser Söze or is he somebody that works directly for Keyser Söze in his stead?
He's like the real Kobayashi. And
Yeah.
the Kobayashi is a guy that works for the pretend Kobayashi.
Whatever you threaten me with is ludicrous in comparison to what will be done to me if I do not carry out my orders in full.
I hear that. That makes some sense.
The burn guy giving a description that kind of resembles Kevin Spacey.
So the guy that got burned on the ship, he didn't know what Keyser Söze looked like. He knew who killed everybody on the ship.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
But the guy that knew what Keyser Söze looked like got offed in the little cabin. Gosh darn it, I love this movie.
When I worked at Blockbuster, boy, that's a long time ago, I had a name tag that said Keyser Söze on it because
Awesome.
I don't pay attention to rules. Yeah.
Rules don't really apply to us.
When you go in and you say,
I want my lawyer.
Kevin Pollak, you've already done the important thing. You said, talk to my lawyer. And then you have to stop talking.
Well, he's got to tell them to go F themselves.
I'm gonna have your bed.
Exactly.
Pollock is great in this, though.
Oh, he is terrific. And not really an intimidating guy, but when he's like,
You wanna dance?
oh, yeah, he's got a little bit of that.
He'll throw hands.
Marvel Connection.
It's a Marvel
I'm a
connection.
connection.
Agent Coulson is the doctor.
We regained consciousness less than an hour ago.
Then you have the collector, Benicio del Toro.
Who had terrible gas the day they were shooting the lineup scene, and that's why everybody's laughing so much, is that he was back there just farting the entire time, and everybody was just like, it's a Star Wars connection. Gus Fring, or Moff Gideon.
And Benicio del Toro, he's the thief in...
Last Jedi.
So the production company that made this was Bad Hat Harry.
Is it Harry Anderson?
It's a line from Jaws.
Some bad hat, Harry.
Jaws, like Orca Fat.
I used to be in a barbershop
It
quartet.
was weird that he just kind of found quartet and went, hey, barbershop quartet.
That in Skokie, Illinois.
You'd have to think the custom agent would go, what the hell are you talking about?
Dude, are you having a stroke?
I think it's interesting to think about what parts of his story were real and which parts were tangentially real.
You know, it's an awful shame about Saul getting whacked.
Even for a movie that's a gag movie, it's just super well done.
Yeah, really. Well, and it's got another one of those Jerry Brown, it almost doesn't matter what they're saying, it's how they say it movie, where everybody in this movie talks cool. Gabriel Byrne, how could you even hang out at his house? Because everything he says sounds wicked cool.
Why don't you make your point? You're making me tired all over.
Oh, and Stephen Baldwin, for a character that's supposed to be super annoying, he understood the assignment.
I'm the guy that's gonna get you.
But I think he really shines. The pairing of him and Benicio del Toro,
You and Fenster are off honeymooning in California while the rest of us are sitting here holding our
like they seem like they're pals. and that they hang out and they've done a bunch of stuff together.
And he's familiar with him farting all the time.
Well, I like the little slap on the lineup. He's like, yeah.
Then, of course, Zed
I got a ton of work and I don't have any good people.
makes an appearance as Redfoot, the fence in L.A.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
And I like how the fax machine plays a huge role.
It took me a long time to actually get to watch this, but once I did, it was like, well, worth it. But I was just like, I already knew kind of the ending, but that ending was put so well together to have him walking, losing his limb, and then you hear in the background putting everything together, and then light a cigarette and hop in a car, and it's like
With Kobayashi.
yeah, with Kobayashi. Just,
He is great.
Yeah.
like, it's just like, oh my gosh, that was so cool.
Everybody in their particular role was just so good.
No ukuleles in this, but they didn't have that fax machine, so I think that kind of balances it
They
out.
were talking about a barbershop quartet, so
And just like that, he was gone. Are you going to bleep out every time we say Kevin Spacey's name? I'm going to give this 4 ukuleles. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed watching it again, even after knowing the gag. And that can be a big problem with Sixth Sense kind of movies, that it doesn't stand up to repeated viewings. But I thought everybody in this movie was just, like you said, really broad.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. For Ukes, for sure. I love it. I think the lines that I remembered came up so viscerally. I love the writing. I love the acting. It's so good for Ukes.
yeah, when it's like Spacey and Singer, it's like, empires rise and empires do fall eventually. And I mean, that it is kind of one of those, you have to put that aside. But once you put it aside, it's like, oh yeah, this movie's solid. Like, it's still a really good movie. I liked watching it again. So I would give it 4.
It's over!